Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Chayan Apash coming at you with another lesson. And this video is going to be entitled, Many Are Protesting the Digital IDs because they know what comes next. And as we have been prophesying for many years, Great Millstone, starting with our apostles and elders, the MOTB, the mark, is fastly approaching, right? Which is the micro C-hip that they're going to implant into your hands or your forehead. And if you don't have hands, they'll put it in your rib. They'll put it in your butt. It doesn't matter where they put it, okay? But they're going to put it inside of the people's bodies, okay? It's a biometric device, okay? And that's what the mark is, and that's what the ultimate goal of the elites is. And even Aaron Russo said that in that famous interview that we always bring up. He said that the ultimate goal of these elites, okay, and he was friends with the elites, right, namely the Rockefellers, Nick Rockefeller, is to have everyone microchipped. That's it. That's the end goal, and many people know that because, the Heavenly Father has made it known through the unicorn, okay, through the internet, okay. So let's go and play. Let's go ahead and play some of these videos here, all right? And you know what? Before I even play that, let's get Revelations 13. This is Revelations 13 in verse. Let's start at 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." Okay, now the two horns like a lamb, that represents the Democratic and Republican system. It's a big game, but it's upon the same beast like a lamb, meaning they're speaking like they're for you, like they're harmless. Well, they're not. They're coming as if they're for you and they're harmless, but they're speaking draconian measures. Okay, and politicians, they have they speak with a soft voice. They always paint it like it's for your benefit, for the benefit of the people, America first. But then when you look at the policies that they actually put into place, it's actually always against the people. It always gets worse for the average person. Everything that they pass, everything that they push forth. Okay? Your life is not getting better year by year, no matter who's in office. It always gets exponentially worse. And he exercises the power. He exerciseth the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them that which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Now that's dealing with what? That's dealing with the Roman Empire. Okay, his deadly wound was healed, and he was revived as NATO in the EU. Okay, that's why before it was called the EU, it was called the European Economic Community. Okay, and the treaty that they passed, right? The treaty that they made was called the Treaty of Rome. Okay, okay, the Treaty of Rome. That's spiritual. All right, that's spiritual, and there's all kind of things that tie this place to Rome. All right, there's all kind of things that tie this system to Rome. Okay, it says, and he doeth great wonder. See, because the thing with the Roman rulers, their whole thing was to how can they constantly suck the wealth from the people. Okay, that's what they were constantly trying to do. All right, constantly trying to add taxes, constantly trying to add tariffs and this and that, so that the people get sucked dry of their resources and the elites get richer and richer. That's what Rome was all about. All right, and that's why there was constant rebellions in Rome. Okay, even amongst the Israelites, there was many rebellions against Rome, which was really going off. They weren't supposed to be doing that because, Yahushua, rather Paul said, to not resist the powers that be. Okay, who's going to take this place down? Yahweh Shai. All right. It says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. The miracles represent his technology, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying look at AI. That's a miracle, man. What AI can do, that's a miracle. Okay. Right. But it's a miracle on the left hand side. It says, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you don't bow down to the system that they're setting up, all right, you're going to be cut off. Point blank, period. Okay. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That's the mark, the MOTB, the micro C hip. Okay. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So if a camp is not teaching it as what we're saying it is, the microchip, that camp either sold out or the Heavenly Father is just not dealing with it. Okay, but either way, the Heavenly Father is not dealing with them if they're not teaching what we're teaching concerning the MOTB, because it's as clear as day. Okay, when we were teaching it, it was clear to us, but then now it's just getting more and more clear as the days go by. Okay, so that's what it is, and Esau works with a thing called gradualism. Okay, he works with a thing called gradualism. Okay, I could go into charagma and charax, which we have already done that a million times. You know what? I'm going to do it again because there's always new listeners. Okay, but I really want to go to Genesis to show you that this man is very subtle. He moves with something called gradualism. But let's go into the definition of charagma. Okay, the definition of mark. Charagma, a stamp, an imprinted mark. Okay, that's something physical. Okay, of the mark, right? Right. We're not gonna read this one. They're kind of going off with this, because talking about, it's not really going off actually. Of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. This is actually on point, because that does mean that you're of the Antichrist or the anti-Hamashiach if you do take that. Okay, you're against the anointed. Okay, because when you take that mark, you're basically saying that you're in allegiance with Esau Edom. Okay, that he is your God. Okay, the mark branded upon horses. Okay, because they look at you people as cattle. Thing carved. This is physical. Sculpture, graven work. Okay, that's a physical thing. Okay, so let's go to the root word now. This is very telling, right? Charax. It says a pale or stake, a palisade. And now when we look up what a palisade is, or a stake or a pale, right? All pretty much the same thing. Okay, not the car palisade. Palisade. Say palisade stake. No, come on, bro. It's nonsense. Yeah, there we go. This is what a palisade or a stake looks like. Take a good look at this. Okay, you see how it has the pointy end? You see how it has the point at the end? Okay. Now, when you look at these, right, they all have those pointed ends, right? Now let's look up the device, right? How do you say that? Microchip implant device, or no, not device. How could I say it? Right. And when you look at this looks just like what? A palisade, right? And they put the chip within it, but this is a palisade. It's a charax. Okay, so it's no coincidence that the root word for charagma, which is the mark, is palisade. Okay, charax. All right, because this is what's going to put the charagma in you. Okay, you understand? And there's going to be an incision, a carving. This is the carving right here. Okay? And that's the imprinted mark. It's going to be inside of you. Good. So you should be able to see it crystal clear. Okay? So now when you go to Genesis, and I'm going to play the videos, just bear with me. You go to Genesis, the 3rd chapter. It says what? Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh power had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. So, so he started to, to play mind games because he's very subtle. Okay, let's look up this word subtle. Right? That's why he moves with gradualism. He doesn't just come in and bombard you at once. Okay, he's moving faster, but it's still gradual. Okay, he's moving faster because he has a short time. Okay, and who knows what Yahweh Shai is showing him and what he's about to see that's going to make him have to move quick. Hey, this word is getting out. This word has gone out to the 4 corners of the earth. It's pushing. It's spreading. Okay, it's going into the minds of these Israelites. Even that event with the brother that happened with the Edomite that came up and he got beat up or whatever. That, guess what? Hey man, the Young Turks did something on that. So this thing is pushing forward, man. Okay, but Esau is gonna flip it to make Jake look like basically like villains. Okay, but it says subtle, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible, crafty, shrewd, sensible. Okay, right? Prudent, right? Let's look up this word. Shrewd, real quick. And I'm about, like I said, I'm about to play the video, Akim. Having or showing sharp powers of judgment, astute. So Esau's not just going to run and do something. He's going to, make sure that he's doing it at the right time, right? Of course, he's getting more sloppy because he knows he has a short time, but ultimately Esau's doing things in order according to his the plan that he's pushing forth, which he thinks is his plan, but ultimately it's the plan of the Heavenly Father. Okay, now let's go ahead and play these videos.
Protests have been held in London over the introduction of digital identification. The ID will be needed in order to live and work in the UK.
Well, thousands have actually taken part in this through central London this afternoon, culminating here at Downing Street, where they wanted to make the point right outside the seat of power. And what's interesting about the people gathered here today is the fact that there's so many people that you wouldn't really expect to be at a protest ordinarily, people who just feel very strongly that they feel this is taking society in the wrong direction. They very much think that these digital ID cards are the wrong way to go. They say it's a risk to their security and to their privacy, and they say they will hold protests like this until these ideas are scrapped. Well, the government's insisted that they're going to make people's lives easier if they're introduced in 2029.
Yeah, that peace and safety. We told you they're going to paint it as the best thing ever. We told you that's how they're going to come with it. That's how they're coming with it. Okay?
Be an app on your smartphone, a bit like the NHS app that many people have got, and it will give people access to some of the public services and make life easier, and also to tackle illegal migration as well by proving people's right to work. But these proposals,
you're right. So they create the problem, right? The illegal immigrant issue. Have you Edomites jumping up and down screaming about illegal immigration, right? And then now they could come and present you the solution. All right. And ultimately the solution, like we said, is going to be physical. Okay. Now it's just a digital ID, but it's going to transform into actually an implant.
Have been criticised by a lot of people who say this is like a digitisation of personal information. It raises some questions, as I say, about where this data and these details go. Well, I've been talking to some people here about what they think. Let's hear what some of the protesters have to say about this idea.
We want our freedom. We need to keep control of our sovereignty. End end of. You know, you start down this route and then it just goes on. Yeah.
I'm born here. I live here. I've got an address here. I pay council tax here.
So you just don't think it's necessary?
Nobody wants to be chipped and pinned and corralled. And
Nobody wants to be what? Nobody wants to be chipped and pinned. So there's people that see exactly where this is leading.
Nobody wants to be chipped and pinned and corralled and computerized and controlled by the government, which is what this is all about. Digital ID.
Which is what this is all about. It all goes back to prophecy, baby. Let's run that one more time.
Nobody wants to be chipped and pinned and corralled and computerized and controlled by the government, which is what this is all about. Digital ID. It's not about keeping immigration down.
That's
you don't
right.
need the Navy can do that.
Right.
The law can do that. It's about controlling us.
That's right. There we go. There we go. See, we have one that can see. You understand? This is what it's all about. This is what we've been telling you. It's all going to lead to that, right? They're going to paint it to you as the best thing since sliced bread, but ultimately, is leading to the end of your freedom. Okay, total control. Digital ID together. See, so people are against this, man. Many people are against this, but guess what? They're still going to push it forward because this is their ultimate goal. And it says if you're not down with it, hey, you're gonna be killed. So many of these people you see walking around, they're just gonna submit to it. They're just gonna give up the fight and they're gonna submit to it. Okay, because they don't have Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. See, the elect is going to be the ones to stand firm unto the end. All right. Let's play this now, because remember Larry Ellison, what was he trying to do, bro? Let's bring all of the hospital information together into one database. So what? We told you everything was going to be on that CHIP. Your ID, your medical information, your driving record, your criminal record, everything is going to be on that. Your social credit score, all of it is going to be on that CHIP. And you will not be able to escape. Anywhere you go, they got you. That's also a tracking device. Hey, never forget what Bishop Nathaniel said. Where's my dog? Where's my cat? You know, maybe your dog could go and buy some lamb for you. Remember that? Remember he was making mockery? Never forget that, eh? Never forget that. Okay? And I know that when he starts to bring that out and if he tries to switch it up and say, oh, the microchip is the mark of the beast, that all his congregation is going to think about Great Millstone. Say, this is bullshit. You were telling us for so long that the Great Millstone was crazy. You see? Hey, the Lord said he's going to show who his true men are in the last days, man.
But what's Ellison's current obsession? Well, he appeared with Tony Blair earlier this year at the World Government Summit in Dubai.
The NHS in the UK has an incredible amount of population data, but it's fragmented. It's not easily accessible by these AI models. We have to take all of this data we have in our country and move it into a single, if you will, unified data platform. So we provide context. When we want to ask a question, we've provided that AI model with all the data they need to understand our country.
That was Ellison speaking in February this year. It's all very Dr. Evil with that background. But this was a major Tony Blair Institute publication a few months later, this August. So it's called Preparing the NHS for the AI Era, a digital health record for every citizen. In that report, the TBI found good reasons for building new digital health records with an existing system run by Oracle. It also said that using a system run by rival Palantir would be a controversial option.
There we go. So ultimately, why do you think the cruel Lord had those tech giants next to him when he came into office? Why do you think he had that? There was a reason for that. Okay, there was a reason for that. All right, because he's helping to usher in this MOTB system. Okay, It's clear as day. Let's get Daniel's 8 and 25. And we know this is speaking about first and foremost Antiochus Epiphanes, but this applies to them. They're in this spirit now more than ever. This is Daniel's 8 and 25. It says, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. What do you think them giving people C-hips is? That's them saying that they are God. Okay? And by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Well, the prince of princes ultimately is Yahweh Shai. So they're gonna, hey, this all applies, man. It all applies today as well. Okay? You know? Let's go to like I said, first and foremost, that's Antiochus, but it applies, man. Let's go to Salakia. It says, it said in his heart, you know, I could go to Isaiah 14. I could go to Isaiah 14, but let's do this. This is Isaiah, 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed. Esau Edom, that's the man of sin, the son of perdition. And it's not just Amalek. They always like to point the finger, oh, it's the Jews did this. It wasn't us. It wasn't us white folks. Oh, that's your brethren. Okay, that's your brethren. Don't let Esau try to separate themselves from Amalek. Y'all are all brethren. Okay? It's just your brethren just don't give a damn about you. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worship, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. This is what they're doing. Okay? And ultimately, what is the temple? The temple is the Israelites. Okay? The temple is the Israelites. Okay? Let me look up this word sitteth, because the temple is the Israelites ultimately. Did it not say he that destroyeth his temple, the Most High shall destroy? The Most High dwelleth in you. Yeah, but he's trying to dwell in you through a C-hip. Okay? He's trying to dwell in you through the C-hip. Okay? Let's look up this word sitteth in the Greek. Kathizo, which has to sit down, to set, to be set down, continue, tarry, to make, to sit down, to set, appoint, to confer a kingdom on one, intransitively, to sit down, to sit, to have fixed one's abode. Yeah, and that C-hip is going to be fixed inside of these people that take it. And you can't just take it out because it's going to be embedded into you. Okay? Yeah, you take it out, you got to take out chunks of your flesh and your skin and everything else, man. And you probably bleed out. Okay? To sojourn, to settle down. Well, it's gonna be fixed. To have fixed one's abode. The abode that's where he's gonna be. He's gonna be in you, and and he's gonna have all your information 24/7. Hey, this is what he is trying to do, man. Okay? Yeah, the scriptures is twofold, threefold. You got to be spiritual to understand these scriptures, man. Okay? But he's about to be taken out. He thought that he was going to be like the Most High. The Most High is going to show him that he's nothing but a man.
Keir Starmer's move to bring in mandatory digital ID has been branded the mark of the beast by El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele. Starmer.
Hey, and guess what? The digital ID is not the mark. Okay, the digital ID is not the mark. It's a prelude to the mark. The mark is the physical insertion of the micro C-hip. That is the mark. Okay, and that's what's going to lead to the when it speaks about the grievous sore. The grievous sore. That's what it's going to lead to. The grievous sore. Okay. Okay, this is Revelations 16 and 2. And the first one out, it says, and the first went out, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast. Yeah, it ain't gonna be no grievous sore because you have a digital ID. Okay? That's not gonna leave you with a grievous sore. Neither is if it's sin, because you got Bishop Nathaniel, the IUIC, talking about it's sin. And these other camps talking about it's an embargo and all kind of nonsense. How are you gonna have a grievous sore from that? This is a physical sore. Okay? Actual health problem that you're gonna get from this. And upon them which worship his image. Yeah, so you bow down to that system they're setting up. Hey, you're done. You're through with when it comes to you're through in the eyes of the Heavenly Father. All right. So this is what's coming. This is what's being pushed forward, and many people can see it, man. So, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. I want to give all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations. Much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. Shalom.